Hi there, and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. Things are hotting up. The Champions League's picture is getting clearer. Half of the teams have gone, and we'll be talking to our international pundit Stevie B. He's down near the Fulham ground. He's at Selhurst Park this morning. We're going to have to speak to him there. He won't be in the studio, so the line might not be as good as normal. But just before we get Steve in the line, last one standing. The big swing was Arsenal scoring late.
A lot of boys were sending me messages. I can't believe I picked Arsenal. I should have picked Man United. I said, guys, 15 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And Torreira scored, and then they were all happy again. But big swing, Paul.
Yeah, big swing. And just looking at the rest of the teams are sort of running to form, because when we started off with 323 this week.
Yep.
There's 294.
Yeah.
Now tell me about this guy who's gone favourite to win it.
Well,
we always like to pick out the favourites.
Well, Ricky Blom's his name. He's one of my Brownsdrift boys. And staunch Man United, and he was labelled Ricky van Gaal the moment he walked into the tote. He knows everything about Man United and football. But last week, Paul, if you have a look at his picks, he had 2 picks. He went for Cardiff and Wolves.
The man's either on glue or he's getting tipped by Mourinho.
And he took a treble with Man United, so he has a few rand on his treble. So good luck to Ricky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
We won't see you for next week. You go for teams like this. But I believe our man on the moment, Steve, is about. Steve, can you hear us? Stevie?
Yes, good morning.
Oh, good. Nice and clear. Nice to get you on the line, Stevie. Are you still in last one standing?
I am. We'll see if I go another week.
What's your record? About 4 or 5 weeks?
I don't think I've even gone that far.
That's total, Steve. 4 competitions.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, well done. You've got to keep it going. We expect your team in. And now we're going to talk to you about, firstly, Champions League, because we now have got a picture. What can you tell us about those results in those games and the setup?
I mean, obviously on the Tuesday night, were a couple of great games and great games for sort of British clubs. I mean, obviously everyone was... The Liverpool to the Napoli game was sort of built up into a winner-take-all, and Liverpool sort of deserved it, although right at the end Alisson had to pull off a save, which I guess is why they paid the big bucks for him. And Tottenham, I think, really almost, I think everyone thought it could be too late for Tottenham. Inter Milan at home and they're away at Barcelona, but they played really well. Second half, they had a real go. And I know that Barcelona obviously rested 1 or 2, but ultimately it was a really good performance. And I think sort of buoyed by the fact that Inter struggled at home against PSV, and Tottenham, clawed their way into the last 16.
Yeah, they've done well. I watched both games. I was watching Liverpool and them, and Liverpool should have wrapped it up earlier. And I thought Tottenham were magnificent second half, really. Yeah, no, I mean, they played really well. I mean, I think that's the key's going to be, obviously, now they're through to the knockout stage. They're going to have to dig deep. Obviously, them, Liverpool and United are all going to be away first and could draw one of the big teams. So, they've got through, but this is when the real test starts.
Yeah, can you see any of them winning it?
Sorry?
Can you see any of the English teams winning it?
I mean, you'd love to think that one of them is going to come close again, like Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool need to find some better form when they're on the road. And they've really not looked good. For whatever reason, tactically they've been found wanting in their 3 Champions League away games. They'll have to do better. City have obviously got as good a chance as anybody. If they get all their bigger players back and fit, by the time the knockout stages start. So I think obviously of the 4, City have probably got the best chance.
Okay, and overall, Steve, if you had to tip any of the boys here, who would you fancy be to win it?
Well, it can happen. It can happen. But I mean, when you look at who's still left in and who won their group, you've got the big 4. You've got Juventus, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Not always been convincing, but they've won their groups and they got home advantage in the last 16.
Stevie, just what people might not be aware of is that in the next leg, when they draw on Monday the 17th, you can't draw a team from your country or from the group you came from.
No, you can't draw a team. In the last 16, you can't draw a team from your own country. After that, you can. So the four English clubs will be kept apart.
Yeah. Steve, I'll give you a lurker. Atletico Madrid. I think that's the only team that I think can go past. Barcelona are my favourite, Steve, 5-1, so I'll have a couple of rand on them. I just can't see the English teams doing it. I just don't think they've got the midfield players.
If I was looking at a sort of a Maybe not a surprise pick, but sort of not one of the big 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think Juventus will be hard to beat. You know, I think the way.
But what about PSG?
I watched that game. The way they played at Old Trafford, they looked a complete European team.
What about PSG,
Steve?
Steve?
At the back and can score when they need to.
Hey, Steve, what about PSG? That's my tip, 7-1. You there, Steve?
Sorry, yep.
Budgie likes Barcelona 5-1. I like PSG 7-1. You give them a chance?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the Spanish teams are just not firing on all cylinders at the moment. But then, you know, they raise their game. I mean, obviously, I don't think you could take much notice of what Real Madrid did yesterday, sort of resting players. It's still a bad result for them, but they seem to know how to get it done in the big Champions League games. So. But we'll see. Obviously, without Ronaldo, and I don't think they're quite the same team in Europe. So we'll see. It's going to be... obviously, we've got a bit of a gap now until the last 16 in the new year.
Yeah. Be good. Steve, on to the Premiership. The big game, obviously, is Liverpool-Man United. How do you see that panning out?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, you'd expect Liverpool to win, but you know, that's not always the case. I mean, this is a very hard-fought game. There's no love lost between the two teams. I think Liverpool will edge it, but United won't want to go there and get humiliated. You know, they're obviously going to have to show a bit more form than they've shown recently, a bit more fight. You don't really know what United team's going to turn up. I mean, they didn't have too hard a game last week against Fulham.
Yeah.
Sad to say, but you know, I think they're always good games. You know, sometimes they can cancel each other out. I hope there are goals. That's the for the neutral.
Okay. Do you see Pogba starting?
Well, yeah, you just understand. What's the point of having him on the bench? I mean, he can make things happen if he's in the right frame of mind. You know, he started yesterday, but you know, it was a bit of a nothing game. Although in the end they could have won the group if they'd realised, but a bit too late. I think they'll start with him. I think they need their big players for these games.
Yeah, no, I agree. Stevie, on to your team, Fulham. Can you upset West Ham?
I think they'd have to play very well. I think West Ham are just finding a bit of form. It's interesting that Felipe Anderson, who was getting a little bit of stick early in the season, is obviously coming to the fore and showing that he's a good player, as is Hernandez. You know, we know he can score goals, and you know, the two of them seem to have turned things around. And you know, 3 wins on the spin for West Ham. I think it's going to be a hard game for us. I think what we want to see is a bit of fight.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the 2 home games. Didn't see it at Old Trafford. So you know, I think it's a must-not-lose game for us. You know, would love to win. A point would be the minimum we can afford to take from it.
Yeah. Steve, Arsenal, Southampton. You know, Southampton have been shocking at home.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tricky... I mean, obviously, Arsenal are on this great run.
Yeah.
You know, they left it late last week to win. Southampton will now be at home with their new manager. I think they'll raise their game. I think this could be a tighter game than people think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure Southampton will actually win it, but if you're looking for a real shock, it's a possibility. I think you know, the same as Fulham raised their game when Ranieri took over, you know, their first home game. I think the Saints will do the same. So I think that's going to be a tough game for Arsenal.
Okay, can Spurs last year, remember that I was watching with Paul, where Burnley equalised late at Wembley when they drew 1-1 with Tottenham. Can you see that happening again?
I remember that well because I had Tottenham as my last man standing, and so I didn't go very far into that competition. I'm going to take a chance and go with Spurs as my pick this week. I just think Spurs will be buoyed by that result at Barcelona. Burnley have shown no form on the road. I really think that Tottenham, you know, they're going to keep their sort of winning run going, and I think that will be a home win.
Yeah. I agree with you, Steve. Good call.
Steve, just remember, it was Barcelona's second team they played.
It was in Barcelona. It was, but they played away. They roasted them second half, and Coutinho at the post twice, to their credit. But we had 3 runaways.
You can only beat what's put in front of you. And,
that's true.
You know, they brought. You know, 20 minutes ago they bring Lionel Messi on.
Yeah.
You know, he's no one's reserve, is he? So, you know, I think ultimately, as you say, they went there, but they played with a lot more purpose in the second half.
No, I agree. You want all the English teams through. You don't want to watch Inter Milan play in the last 16, with all due respect to their fans. But it was a good...
Ultimately disappointing is that there were so many of the games didn't have enough riding on it.
Yes.
That all these teams were resting players and sort of devalued, you know, week 6 of the competition. And I think, that was a shame, because obviously, had Barcelona had to get a result, I think it would have been a different game altogether.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for the fans that must have paid top dollar to go and watch it. And you see Messi and all the boys sitting on the bench or in the stand. I think that's the hardest part for me.
Yeah, Steve? I think that, but I suspect if you know your team is qualified, and they say that they're going to sort of rest players, you sort of know what to expect. I heard that there was something in the region of 10,000 Tottenham fans went out, even those that only half had tickets. So they're obviously thinking that they were in with a chance. Yeah,
nice weekend out in Spain too. So can't blame
Charlie
them,
Pigram and the boys all went.
Was you there?
Yeah, all there.
Anyway, on to the worst side of it. Mark Aboud, your best mate over there, sent me a clip of Liverpool. I deleted it the moment he woke me up, but thanks for the clip, Mark. Steve, on to the championship.
I thought Liverpool did more than enough to win the game. But
no, I agree.
1-0, you're never quite comfortable enough. So that was a good game to watch, and that's what you want to see.
Yes.
You go into weeks, into match day 6. You want to see a bit of action and sort of a close run thing.
Yeah. Steve, on to the championship. The big game is obviously Friday night. Sheffield United play West Brom. We don't get it, but your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, last week West Brom played Villa on the Friday. That was a good game. Obviously, a lot of controversy with the allowed, with the goal that was allowed that went in with the hand. Villa are playing well now. I mean, they look as if they're going to score, a couple of goals in every game. Sheffield United too. I think that I can't see Sheffield United winning that one. I think Villa will be just a little bit too strong. I think it could be a draw or away win there by a goal.
Sorry, Steve. That was Sheffield United West Brom.
Oh, sorry, Sheffield United West Brom.
Yeah.
No, I think West Brom are just going to be a little bit too much firepower. I think that it's going to be a close game, and I still think West Brom might just come out on top by a goal.
Okay, but Aston Villa to beat Stoke, you confident?
I think Villa will beat Stoke. I think Villa are just a bit too strong at the moment, scoring goals. Stoke has shown a little bit more of a resurgence, but I don't think enough. So I think there'll be goals there, but I think Villa will just edge it.
Okay, Norwich City, you flying high. You think they'll be too good for Bristol City away from home?
So I mean, they leave it late, but they just seem to be able to score goals. Yet again, they've come from behind and scored sort of a late goal. I think that'll be close, but I think Norwich will just edge that one as well.
Okay, another big game in London, QPR Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I mean, Middlesbrough have been very disappointing of late. Obviously, they've got a scrappy draw against Blackburn, having Mo Bettich sent off. I think they'll come back. I think it will be tight. QPR not an easy team. They're an inconsistent team. You're not sure what you're going to get from them. Obviously, they had a disappointing game at home against Hull recently. Lost at Leeds. I think Borough will go there and maybe just pinch it. Okay, and the last game, I'm surprised it's on a Monday, the Brian Clough Derby. Derby County against Notts Forest. Yeah, I mean, that is, it's a big game. It really is. Forest came unstuck last week, rather surprisingly, against your boys. Yeah. Having only lost 2 all season. There's no love lost between those 2 teams, we know. I think it's going to be tight. I think Derby might just edge it, by a goal.
All right. Well, that looks interesting, Steve. I'm very pleased that you're thinking of taking Spurs. You've added to my excitement for the weekend. Should be great football. Let's hope you can stand, Steve. It'll be good for you to get through the third week. And I just said my last man standing this week. I've been bitten by them before, but I'm going to go for Tottenham. Okay, let's hope you're right. I really, really don't want you to be my Jonah. We've got to beat Burnley. We've got to stay in the hunt for Champions League. Why, I'm thinking they can't concede a 90th minute equaliser this year, so that's my pick. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they'll be too good. And all the best for Fulham, Steve. Yep. Lovely. All right, let's see how it all pans out. Steve, all the best. All the best, Stevie. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye. Bye. Right, great to talk to Stevie, a man who knows his stuff. Just quickly talk about the Champions League. As Budge said, 17th of December, they're doing the draws. You can't meet a team from your country or from your group. But here's the betting at the moment. Interesting, 33-10 if you're a Man City supporter. 5-1 Budge's team, Barcelona. Juventus, Stevie B's team, 11-2. PSG, my team, 7-1, I think, to win it. Then of the next UK team, 9-1 Liverpool. Yeah, Paul, good record. They've got a good record. That's right. Klopp's got the right idea. He doesn't try and outplay the Spanish teams. You can't. So he tries to squeeze them. Yeah. But he's right, away from home they need improving. Bayern Munich.
I can't have them, Paul.
Not
too old.
this year. Real Madrid too, stuttering, Budge.
No Ronaldo.
11-1, eh?
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid, or you're roughies.
That's a danger team for me, Paul.
Your value bet would be them. Then Tottenham 25-1, got it all to do. But if you have a look at these teams that we've met in the last couple of years, we've drawn Barcelona, we've beaten Real Madrid, I think we drew with Juventus. You know, we're not the worst. But and then Man United, the stuttering Man United, 40-1.
Keep going.
Keep going. All right, let's talk Premiership fixtures first. Let's get straight on to them. We can have those fixtures up, and Budge is going to tell you his reasoning and what you should back. And let's start on the top, Budge. Man City 1-5.
Yeah, you know, they were disappointing against Chelsea. You know, Sterling and Sane had great chances. I thought if they'd scored, you know, first, I think they would have gone on to win the game. But, you know, give full credit to Chelsea. Yeah. Good goal from Kante, and deservedly won in the end.
The incident in Mod, it was obviously those 4 or 5 supporters who hurled racial abuse at poor old Sterling. Now, it's not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
The police have got hold of him. The one guy's gone in, he voluntarily went in, because obviously they're
well, they've got them on the
they've got them video. He went in, he said, I apologise, but I did not use a racial slur. He called him a effing mank from Manchester, and he said, if you can get your lip readers out. He was quite adamant. He said, I've never been a racist. I'm a football hooligan, and I apologise. It's not on. It's not on. But they're going to get big.
They'll be in trouble. But
you know, don't throw banana skins. Don't do this. It's just not acceptable in this day and age. You know, because they're screaming at him, and then when he's scoring against Spain,
they're hugging him.
They're hugging him when he's scoring against Spain.
Come on,
come on, keep it tidy. Right, Man City.
Man City should be too good. Too good. I looked at a bet. Man City to score in both halves was 5-10. Disappointed at Everton on Monday. I thought they beat Watford. But, you know, the teams
they fought back to grab it.
Yeah, good free kick in the end, but I can't see.
Who took that?
It's the left back Digne. He's on loan from Barcelona.
Good goal, eh?
Nice goal.
Okay, Crystal Palace need this win, and
well,
for
me, it all depends on Vardy. I think there'll be goals in this. You know, what Spurs against Leicester. Vardy was on the bench. It was a good game, Paul.
It was a good game.
Son scored. Leicester always look like scoring, and they always look like conceding.
They need Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire will start this week by all reports. They're still worried about Vardy. But, you know, Palace, Paul, at home, it's a great little stadium that. I fancy Palace in the two teams, if Vardy isn't playing.
And what about Palace's Zaha? He's a good player.
Top player, Paul.
Top player.
They need a little bit of luck. They've got a bit of luck against Burnley. I think this will be a good game to watch.
Okay, Huddersfield.
I don't think this will be a good game to watch. But Huddersfield have done well. I know they've lost their last couple. But at home, Paul, of the two teams, obviously the betting gives it away. I think a draw's a big player. Newcastle, I thought they were unlucky against Wolves, Paul. They were going for the win. They got caught on the break. It was a red card. Don't know why the guy fouled him when he was in on goal. But a tight game here, Paul.
Okay, Spurs,
I'm hoping 1-6. 1-6. Yeah, I agree with what Steve said. You want to roll. Great result in Barcelona. You threw the reliefs off. Go out there and have a full go.
It's an important game in the sense of it gets you right back in that scrum. If you win, that's what I mean.
Well, you know, if Liverpool don't get a result, you close the gap, and slowly but surely you're on top of them. But it's got to be.
Okay, and then now Watford, they can hold their own.
You know, I looked at their record and they've lost 4 of the last 5 at home. Then I looked who they'd played at home. It was Liverpool, it was Man United, it was Man City. And then they had a player sent off when they lost to Bournemouth. So I've got to fancy Watford, Paul. Cardiff away from home.
Better than I thought.
No, but it's only at home, Paul. Away from home, 1 point out of 7. Watford it is.
Wolves got their season back on some.
A little bit lucky on the weekend, but I think this would be a good game.
Bournemouth coming off a smashing.
I'm disappointed in Eddie Howe's tactics, Paul. He gets a lot of credit for what he's done with the club, and quite rightly so. But you can't play out from the back against Liverpool. You know, it was disgraceful. 4-0 they got beat. You know, I think they can get something out of this game. I think he'll set up differently, and I think this will be a good football game, Paul. A draw, a big player.
Fulham, their key players have to jive here, because West Ham, as Steve said, have turned it around.
They score goals, that's a difference. I fear for Steve's team. I think there'll be plenty of goals in this.
The boy you mentioned.
Felipe Anderson. Nice player.
Good player.
Yeah, they've got them buzzing, and Chicharito and Andy Carroll's back.
Because they lost their 2 key strikers.
Yes.
Anatovic and that other boy. The other boy got injured, I think, against Spurs. They're 2 good players. So they're coming back. Pellegrini's an old wolf.
He's no fool, Paul.
No fool.
It took him a bit of time to work it all out, but he's got them in the right place. You know, 14-10, Paul looks a good bet, but the local derby factor too. I think there'll be plenty of goals in that one.
Now, Brighton are good at home.
Yeah.
They got a Chelsea team very on a high.
The last time they got a good smack at home was from Chelsea last year. They got beat 4-0. Yeah, Chelsea, if they aren't buoyant after beating Man City, then they'll never be buoyant. I wouldn't take 4-10, Paul, but
No,
you've got to think Chelsea be hard to beat, obviously.
Okay, Southampton going to have to play their skins to beat
Arsenal.
Well,
I think, you know, I looked at this being my best bet. I think it's a good value, 9-10. Something just doesn't gel with that price, Paul. You know, Southampton fought hard. The managers had a new week. Rolf Hasenhüttl had a week with him. I think there's goals, but you've got to side with Arsenal, Paul. Yeah. They're on a roll, but you never know. There's one bad result coming for Arsenal, but they're on a roll at the moment. So why jump off the ship, yeah?
Anyone going to take 5-1 United?
Nah, I doubt it. Well, there'll be maybe my man Ricky van Gaal, Ricky Blom, he's a die-hard. But Paul, you know, you try and find things. Obviously, it's a local derby. But, you know, United's strength was always David De Gea. And if you had a look at our 5 best players this year, David De Gea, nightmare.
Pogba bench.
Pogba on the bench.
Lukaku missing.
Lukaku and Sanchez. You know, disaster.
Big money.
Big money, haven't performed. And the other thing is Liverpool have played 16 league games, conceded 6 goals. Man United, 16 league games, 26 goals.
That's the difference.
So that gives it away, Paul.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, but of the 2 teams, you've got to go for Liverpool, even though I'm hoping for an upset.
Yeah, it would be a great game to watch. I think,
let's hope so. Hope
Mourinho's
the container gets left behind.
Yeah, that's right. Let's hope they don't pop.
No, he's got to do it, Paul. The fans won't accept it. Accept the result, but not
have a go and get beat.
Have a go and get beat.
The league leaders they're playing, have a go and get beat. Okay, here we go. The championship. You touched on a few games.
Yeah, you know, I agree with Steve. I like West Brom with the 2 teams. 2-1, but goals galore. Sheffield United, I was impressed. Young side, well managed by Chris Wilder. This will be a Grand Prix game to watch. Don't know what price over 2.5 goals is and both teams to score, but that's the way to go, Paul.
Aston Villa, Stoke.
I agree.
The only thing was Villa.
The only thing is Stoke have got an experienced team, Paul. Jack Butland, and they've got Fletcher and the boy from Joe Allen, experienced team. They're unbeaten in the last 8, Stoke.
Oh, so that
4 wins and 4 draws. So it'll be a tight game. Obviously, Villa at home going well, but don't be surprised if it's a score draw.
Villa up to 8th, eh?
Yeah.
Blackburn 11th, play Birmingham
Blackburn at home, Paul. Hard to beat at home. I think it's only Leeds who have rolled them at home. But Birmingham, shocked last week. They cost us. I think a draw, a big player there, Paul.
Okay. Bolton, Leeds
Can't have
second.
Bolton, Paul. Even though they got beat injury time. Yep, definitely.
Okay, and then Hull City, they've revived a little bit.
Come right, Paul. That's my lurker for the weekend. You know, Brentford have won 1-14. Manager left to Aston Villa. They were booing their manager the other day when they were at Swansea at home. They were 3-0 down in the first half. Fans were going berserk. Came back to 3-2, but 16-10 Hull City, Paul. I think that's a good bet.
Okay, Ipswich Town, they're propping up the league, aren't
Propping up the league, yeah. But Wigan, you have a look at their last 7 away games, 1 point.
Wow.
So if ever there's a chance for Ipswich to come, they've been close in the last few games, Paul. You know, Ipswich in a draw for me in that game.
Only John Walk and Mariner and Alan Brazil.
That team, Moses, you're right.
That was Robson. Robson was the boss.
Robson's team, yeah.
Okay, let's go. Preston,
my boys,
good
Preston,
result.
Paul. We beat Forest last week. Played well. We're back on a roll. So according to the press and everybody, I think we'd be too good for a Millwall team who don't travel, Paul.
Okay, 11-10. Okay.
Good things.
The Wally with the Brolly, QPR, Middlesbrough.
Oh, yeah, they've only won one of the last 5, but the last 4 home games, Paul, they've won 3 and drawn 1.
Yeah.
So a good game. Middlesbrough away from home have got a better record than at home.
That's interesting.
I think there'll be goals in that game, Paul.
Yeah.
Draw, obviously, a big player.
Rotherham?
Well, Rotherham are the draw special. I think they've drawn 9 of the last 11.
Wow.
Reading, when we went for them last week, they fired the manager Thursday lunchtime, Paul Clement. They never had a shot.
He fired?
He got fired last Thursday.
Did he take over from Jaap Stam?
Yes, he did. You know, he got fired, so they haven't got a manager. So Rotherham, if ever there's a chance for them to get back on the roll. But when you draw 9 out of 11 league games, Paul, it's hard to go for them, though.
Yeah.
But of the 2 teams, you've got to fancy Rotherham.
Swansea City, Sheffield Wednesday.
They should be too good, Paul. But the problem with Swansea is last 8 games, won 4, lost 4. Gee. You know, hard to call. Sheffield Wednesday have lost it big time. Can't supply that Dutchman, Josh Luhako, is still there. Got to fancy Swansea of the 2 teams.
Bristol City, Norwich.
Should be goals again. You know, Norwich have just been squeaking in, as Steve said. 14-10. I wouldn't really make them good things, but they only beat Bolton 3-2 at home last week. Yeah. And they scored in injury time. Got to fancy them with the 2 teams, but don't be surprised if the draw arrives in that game as well, Paul.
Yeah. And then Derby County, 4th, though. They're pushing hard.
Yeah, slowly. They've been winning games. When
Forest going to lose 2 in a row?
No, I don't see it. Forest are well organised. That Aitor Karanka, he knows how to park the bus. Mourinho's right-hand man. Win and draw Forest me there, Paul.
Ooh, Derby. Okay, let's go Telkom knockout. Now, Budge, you watch this.
Yeah.
People are saying, well, there's going to be a trophy for Pirates.
Yeah.
No trophy for Baraka. 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2. The Pirates had a player sent off in the first half. Terrible challenge, straight red. Okay. So they were under pressure. Baraka scored before half-time. Pirates fought back well, Paul.
Yeah.
1-1 90 minutes. Baraka went 2-1 up. Pirates fought back. You know, penalty shootout's a lottery.
Yes.
You know, 3-2 it was to Baraka. And good luck to them.
Yeah, it's their first trophy.
First trophy. They beat Sundowns and Wits on the way there.
Yeah.
And now they beat Pirates. So good luck to them, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Let's just look at the PSL midweek results. Because people are looking at we'll talk about the table in a moment. But Pirates bounced back with a 3-1 win away.
You would expect that, yeah.
Free State Stars,
Yeah, it was a good result in Bethlehem.
Cape Town City, Chipper United.
Yeah, bad result for Benny. They were 1-0 up. Chipper came back. Don't score many goals, Chipper.
Yeah.
But good result for them.
Sundowns couldn't score.
Yeah, 0-0 Baraka. Terrible result.
Polokwane 2, Highlands Park 2.
Yeah, come back from nowhere, Highlands. Yeah, good
then
result.
Then Wednesday, the Chiefs beat Supersport.
1-0. Yeah, Middendorf's taken over there now. The manager, Salinas, got fired. Yeah. Yeah, 1-0. They had plenty of chances to score, but, you know, good result, good start for them anyway.
Maritzburg, Black Leopards,
terrible result, Paul. I had a look at the league log. They scored 5 goals this year. It's just not good enough, you know. Last year they came third. I know they sold a few players, but obviously you can't score, you can't win.
Amazulu, wonderful result.
Paul, I watched that game, and they've got an Argentinian. I looked at him, I didn't know who he was. Nade, I think his name is. What a player. First half, Paul hit the post 3 times, hit the bar, that was scrambled. Should have been 3-0 up at half time. 3-0, fair result in the end. They got murdered, Bloem Celtic. Okay. Amazulu really played well.
They move up the log, eh?
Well, they lost 6 points because of FIFA taking, because I think they got fined $1.5 million, and they fined them 6 points. They'd be in 6th place if they kept the points. Won the last 3 going well.
But Wits Hunt only 2
terrible result, Paul. They were 2-0 up. Ooh. Bad result for Gavin. Yeah, that was the one I thought they would win. But, you know, good luck to Clint Larson, Golden Arrows.
Yeah, of course.
Plenty of spirit.
Let's have a look at the PSL standings. Top of the log, Pirates, 15 matches. So they got 27 points. They're 3 points clear of Wits, who have 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
Then, and an extra game is Sundowns. They clear.
Yeah, well, they're the trick team, Paul.
Trick team, definitely. Why don't they get these guys to play a few games?
Yeah.
Polokwane, 22 points of 14.
Great, yeah.
It's done well.
Serbian
and then
manager,
Kaiser Chiefs, 15 games, 21. They can't win the league. Now the bottom, Black Leopards, 13 matches, 10 points.
Yeah, struggling for
Baraka, 11 points of 13. Chipper United, 11 points of 13. Maritzburg United, 11 points of 12. So they've got that game in hand.
Got the game in hand, yeah.
And then Free State Stars, 13 points of 15 games. Yeah, that doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good, yeah.
And Amazulu, who are 11th, have 13 points of 13.
Yeah, it should be 19, Paul. There'd be 6 if they got those points, yeah. But obviously,
let's see how the league looks this week, Budge.
Yeah.
You got the
ball. You know, Chipper, Polokwane. You know, Chipper at home, if ever they're going to get out of it, it's at home.
Yeah.
The problem is they don't score many goals where Polokwane do.
Yes.
So draw a big play in all our PSL games. But of the 2 teams, I like Polokwane.
You must love Amazulu against Black Leopards.
Well, it's just playing at Black Leopards. You know, it won't be easy. But the way they've won their last 3 games, they beat Chipper away and they beat just I think somebody else away from home.
Is that Falu Davids?
He's at Maritzburg. Falu. Kevin Johnson, good
yes.
coach. But they really looked a good team, Paul.
Yeah.
21-10.
Might be the best. Yeah. Amazulu. Heba.
Usutu. Yeah.
Usutu. Lovely to see. Supersport, Maritzburg.
Well, Supersport at home, Paul. They won 5 of the last 7. Maritzburg, you just don't know. They don't score goals. You know, Supersport score, obviously they'll win. If not, but I've got to fancy Supersport there, Paul, just because Maritzburg are so...
Baraka 14 to play Bidvest.
Well, they knocked them out the semi-final of the Telkom. You'd expect Gavin's team to rebound, but Baraka don't get beat too often. You know, they've won the cup. Good result at Sundowns in midweek, Paul. They draw a big player again.
Yeah. Bidvest are trying to bounce back.
They've got a
2 points.
You know, terrible result. You'd expect Wits to get back, but it won't be easy in Polokwane.
Bloem Celtic Highlands?
Well, watching them last night, Paul, I was disappointed in Bloem Celtic. You know, Highlands are a hard-working team. You've got to think Celtic would rebound. But likewise, Paul, don't be surprised if it's a draw.
Okay, let's go and see your bets, Budge.
Yeah, onto the exotics. You know, I've banked Man City to beat Everton. I've gone the field with Black Leopards and Amazulu. I've banked Atletico Madrid to beat Real Valladolid. I've gone the field with Supersport Maritzburg looking for the smash. I think Juventus will be too good for Torino and the Turin derby. And I've gone the field with Alba Valencia. And I've taken the easy way out, Paul. I think City, Atletico and Juventus are good things. I've thrown the fields in, obviously looking for a payout. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. 162.
Yep, on to the Premiership one. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw at home against Leicester. I've gone the field with Huddersfield, Newcastle. I think Tottenham will be too good for Burnley. Likewise, Watford will be too good for Cardiff. I've gone the field with the Wolverhampton, Bournemouth, and I've thrown the draw in with West Ham. 2-1-6, West Ham.
2-1-6. Right, what's the 10 look like, Budge?
The 10, I've banked Leeds to beat Bolton. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw against Leicester. I've gone Huddersfield win and draw against Newcastle. I've gone the field with QPR and Middlesbrough. I've banked Tottenham to beat Burnley. I've banked Watford to beat Cardiff. I've gone the field with Wolves and Bournemouth. I've thrown the draw and looking for an upset Norwich at Bristol City. I've banked Aston Villa to beat Stoke. And I've gone West Ham win and draw at Fulham. Obviously, if you want to halve your perm, bank a West Ham or take a chance on Norwich. But that's the way we've gone with our spend.
Okay, and then the big one. But
the big one, the 13, yeah, I've changed it a little bit. I've banked Spurs to beat Burnley. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw against Leicester. I've gone Huddersfield win and draw against Newcastle. I've banked Watford to beat Cardiff. I've sided with Bournemouth win and draw at Wolves. Likewise, West Ham win and draw at Fulham. I've banked Aston Villa to beat Stoke. The second page, I've gone the field with Blackburn and Birmingham City. I've banked Leeds to beat Bolton. I've gone Ipswich win and draw at home against Wigan. I've banked my boys Preston to beat Millwall. I've gone Middlesbrough win and draw at QPR, and I've banked Swansea win and draw at Sheffield Wednesday, 326.
326. All right, let's go into Budgie's best bets.
Yeah.
Right, Budge, let's get started with this.
Paul, obviously they've shaved a lot of the fancy teams, so I've had to be a little bit adventurous. I've banked Watford to beat Cardiff.
Yeah.
I've gone Arsenal to beat Southampton, and both teams to score.
Okay.
I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Crystal Palace Leicester and Fulham West Ham games, 3,800 to 200.
Championship.
On to the championship, I've gone Hull City to beat Brentford. I've gone Preston to beat Millwall. And I've gone Leeds United to beat Bolton and over 2.5 total goals.
Leeds United beat Bolton, okay.
Yeah, so it's 2-1, 3-0, 4-1.
Your beloved
whatever.
are in there, Preston.
Yeah, it's my boys, 2-6 to 200.
Okay.
On to the win and draw fiver, I've gone Bournemouth at Wolves. I've gone Ipswich to get a good result against Wigan. I've gone Nottingham Forest on Monday, win and draw at Derby. And then I've had to look for value when Real Betis win and draw at Espanyol. And I've gone for Borussia Mönchengladbach to get a good result at Hoffenheim, 2,600 to 200.
Well, this is interesting, Budge. Both teams to score.
Yeah.
Villa Stoke I can have.
Yeah, Blackburn, Birmingham. You know, Blackburn always scored home, and Gary Monk's got Birmingham going well, even though they stuffed it up last week. Bristol City, Norwich, I think that's an aimer. Ipswich, Wigan, both teams have to have a go. And I've gone QPR, Middlesbrough. You know, both teams are in the middle of the table, Paul.
Yeah.
It's all the championship, you know, 3,100 to 200.
All right, let's get the omelette.
Our Spanish quartet, I've gone Getafe to beat Real Sociedad. I've gone Alaves to beat Athletic Bilbao. And I've gone both teams to score in the Eibar Valencia and Huesca Villarreal games, 3,700 to 200. And on to our Collis King, I've gone Man City to beat Everton. I've gone Watford to beat Cardiff. I've gone Leeds to beat Bolton. I've got Juventus to beat Torino. I've gone Borussia Dortmund to beat Werder Bremen. And I've gone Atletico Madrid to beat Real Valladolid, 2,500 to 200.
Fantastic. They're the bets that count, but always just before we end our show, we get Budgie's best bet of all the games. And 11 to 10, Preston North End.
Yeah, Budge. Paul, you know, I looked at Arsenal 9 to 10, and something just doesn't jerry with that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, sure.
You know, no, I've gone through it all. Obviously, look at the pros and the cons. And 11 to 10, Preston, we're on a roll. You know, I'm not going to tip 6 to 10 Watfords or 5 to 10. Punters don't want that. So they're in all my bets. I'm bankering Preston. And my best value bet, 16 to 10, is Hull City.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Don't forget, last one standing. We're going to week 3. There's still a huge number of people in. It could have been cut by 194 if Arsenal hadn't grabbed that goal. Make sure you guys get your bets into Budgie. And until we see you next time, stay on side.